side. Murphy shooting, save a rebound on the view.
Hey everyone, it's Casey. You are watching the Red Rubber Duck Win All Sports Network, and welcome to another episode of the 2024 March Madness Charity Drive. Today we're going to be going over the Big Sky Conference Tournament. The link to the Sandy Hook Promise is in the description down below. Feel free to check that out. Without further ado, let's not waste any more time. Let's get into the Big Sky Tournament. So here's how the bracket looks. The top seed overall is Eastern Washington. The Eagles go in with a record of 15-3, 21-10 overall, and they started out very, very well in Big Sky play. They won their first two games, and then they won five straight before losing to Montana State. That's their first loss in Big Sky play. They go into the tournament winning their last four. And last year, the Eagles were the number one seed. They went one and done against Northern Arizona. They're hoping to avoid a similar fate this year. So Cedric Coward is definitely not a coward. He leads the team in points per game at 15.2, a field goal percentage of 56.8%. He has 6.7 rebounds per game, steals per game at 1, and 0.9 blocks per game. So that's going to be one player you need to watch out for when you're facing Eastern Washington. The 9-10 matchup involves Idaho and Sacramento State. Let's go over the Vandals season. So they go into the tournament with a conference record of 5-13. Now they split their first two conference games, and then after I think it's their Big Sky and Summit League Challenge. I think that's what it is. They ended up losing 6 straight. They go into the tournament losing 4 of their last 6 games. So they have a lot to go over. Quinn Denker is going to be your scoring leader. He has 12.4 points per game, as well as 3.7 assists per game. Julius Mims is getting it done on the defensive end. He has 7.2 rebounds a game, 1 steal per game, as well as 1.5 blocks per game. And the Vandals are going up against the Sacramento State Hornets. They go in with a record of 4-14, and they lost their first 2 games of conference play to Idaho and Eastern Washington. As a matter of fact, Idaho has the season sweep over the Hornets. There was a particular stretch where they ended up losing 11 straight conference games before beating Montana State and Portland State. Now, they would lose to Eastern Washington in their season finale, but only by 3, so they have something to look upon. Duncan Powell is the guy you need to watch out for the Hornets. 12.1 points per game, 2 assists a game, as well as 7 rebounds a game. And Jacob Holt is also a guy you need to watch out for. A field goal percentage of 59.7, as well as 0.7 blocks a game. Let's go over the 4-5 matchup, and that's Weber State and Montana State. Now Weber State goes in with a record of 11-7. They started out Big Sky play, winning both games against Montana teams before going on a 3-game losing streak, including a loss to Sacramento State. But they would eventually find their footing. They would win 8 of 9 before losing to Montana State on the road in the season finale. So Weber State, they have a decent resume here. So they're looking to cause some chaos in the Big Sky tournament. With the help of Dylan Jones, he has 20.8 points per game, 5.2 assists per game, a field goal percentage of 48.9%, 10.1 rebounds a game, and 2 steals per game. So he averages a double-double with Weber State. So If you want to beat the Wildcats, you're going to have to contain them. Next up, we have Montana State. They go in with a record of 9-9. As a matter of fact, they are the defending Big Sky champions. They split their first 2 games of conference play, and then they would proceed to win 5 of their next 7 before losing 4 straight. Now they go into the tournament with a win over Weber State, 76-64. So Montana State looks to go on another deep run. Robert Ford III is a guy to watch out for. He has 15.3 rebounds a game. 15.3 points per game, 7.7 rebounds a game, and 2.9 steals per game. So that's a player you need to watch out for. Now we go into the bottom half of the bracket. The number 2 seed is Northern Colorado. They were tied with the Montana Grizzlies at 12-6, but Northern Colorado got the season sweep over Montana, so they earned the right to be the number 2 seed. Now they would win their first 3 games of conference play before losing to Montana State. It's almost like a pattern for the Bears because they've won back-to-back games and then they lost a game afterwards. The cycle basically almost repeats itself. Now, they're going into the tournament winning back-to-back games. So, who knows from there? St. Thomas is your all-star on this team. He averages 20 points a game, a field goal percentage of 47.4%. He averages 10 rebounds a game, 1.6 steals per game, and 0.9 blocks a game. Now, Northern Colorado will take on the winner of Northern Arizona and Idaho State. Let's go over Northern Arizona. The Lumberjacks go in with a record of 7-11, and so did the Bengals, but a win over Eastern Washington gives them the number 7 seed. So they lost their first conference game to Northern Colorado, and it's been a roller coaster for them ever since. They go into the tournament losing back-to-back games to Weber State and Northern Colorado. So who knows what happens for the Lumberjacks from here. Some guys you need to watch out for are Trent McLaughlin and Carson Basham. Trent McLaughlin comes in with a record of 16.7 points a game, as well as 1.4 steals per game. Basham leads the team in field goal percentage at 58.5%, 6.6 rebounds a game, as well as 1.6 blocks per game. Let's now go over Idaho State. As I mentioned earlier, they went in with a record of 7-11. They got swept by the Eagles while Northern Arizona got 1 win. So Idaho State gets the 8 seed by default. Now they lost both of their games to start conference play. They lost to both Montana teams. And right now the Bengals are going in losers 5 of their last 6. Braden Parker looks to right the ship. He has 14.8 points per game, a field goal percentage of 53.9%, 5.8 rebounds a game, and 1.5 blocks per game. And now the 3-6 matchup is between the Montana Grizzlies and the Portland State Vikings. Let's go over Montana first. They have a record of 12-6. They lost their first game of conference play to Weber State, but has since won against Idaho State. And it's been relatively consistent for the Grizzlies. A couple of few winning streaks of 2 or 3 games then and there. They go into the tournament winning back-to-back games against both Idaho teams, so they look to continue the momentum. Auden Moody is a guy you need to watch out for the Grizzlies. He's their leading scorer with 16.6 points per game, as well as a field goal percentage of 48.4%. And on the defensive end, Lalu Oki, he leads the team in rebounds at 7.3 per game, as well as a steal per game. Let's go over to Portland State now. They go in with a record of 8-10. Now, their overall record is pretty good at 17-14. They started out 5-0, But as soon as they got into conference play, they became sub 500. They split their first 2 games of conference play, and now they go into a stretch of losing 6 of 8. They go into the tournament off of a win over Idaho, 72-57. So Portland State looking to get it back on track and recover their early season magic. KJ Allen is a guy to watch out for as their leading scorer with 13 points a game, as well as 7.1 rebounds a game and 1.1 steals per game. And Hayden Curtis gets it done defensively and offensively. He leads the team in field goal percentage at 52.1%, as well as 1.5 blocks per game. So here's how the Big Sky tournament looks. Now, it's going to be difficult to predict this because last year it showed chaos can happen anywhere in these conference tournaments. But if I were to guess, I'm going to say Eastern Washington survives this time. So that's going to do it for the Big Sky recap. Next time I'm with you, it'll be the America East with a special guest. And I might as well spoil it. It's a logical Canadian. He's going to be joining, as that's his neck of the woods, the America East. So it's going to be a good one. Please feel free to like, comment, subscribe to the Red Rubber Duck Win All Sports Network. We'll be doing these videos from March 1st all the way to April 8th. In case of you been watching the Red Rubber Duck Win All Sports Network, thank you for watching. Until we meet again, I'll see you guys next time.